Good evening. You're watching the news on Croatian television. The 23rd anniversary of Operation Flash, which liberated a large chunk of territory occupied by rebel Serbs, was held in Okučani today. A monument was unveiled honoring the 51 Croatian soldiers who lost their lives in the offensive. After 4 years of occupation, in May of 1995, Western Slavonia was liberated in a mere 32 hours. Attending the commemoration were veterans, civilians, and the country's political leaders.
At 5 in the morning, we started from Gorica through the Prašnik forest. I can remember exactly our orders, that we were to exclude civilians, the elderly, and weaker individuals, which means that we conducted an exclusively military conflict. Our signal to start was the first tank shell fire from Gorica. In the wake of this operation, we proved to ourselves and the world that the Croatian armed forces are ready to carry out an operation as complex as this one. And as you know, following Operation Flash came Operation Storm, when we finally put an end to the war in Croatia and brought about peace and freedom in Croatia. This is a signal that this government, which adopted legislation on the rights of Croatian veterans, increased budgetary spending for veterans, defended the dignity of the homeland war, increased spending for the defense ministry, will continue to build on the legacy of homeland war veterans to build a modern Croatian army which is compatible and active in NATO and the EU.
My thanks to all of our veterans, but you know that on days such as these, I don't like giving statements or to politicize these events.
Prime Minister Andrej Plenković was asked to comment today on recent tensions with Serbia, saying that Croatia and Serbia are currently worlds apart. Tensions arose when convicted war criminal and a member of the Serbian Assembly, Vojislav Šešelj, desecrated the Croatian flag during a visit by Croatian Parliament Speaker Gordan Jandroković. Tensions deepened following unacceptable rhetoric from Serbian Defense Minister Aleksandar Vulin, which resulted in Vulin being denied entry into Croatia. Serbia responded by declaring Croatian Defense Minister Damir Krstičević persona non grata.
The idea that we are all somehow equal here is simply false. We need to be aware of that, including the Croatian media and the Croatian public. We are not the same in this story. We weren't the same in the 1990s, nor will we be the same in the future.
In other news, unions marked International Workers' Day today. This year's Labor Day celebrations were held under the slogan, "For Reforms for People." Unions are demanding higher wages, better education, improved health benefits, and higher pensions.
I extend a special greeting to Prime Minister Andrej Plenković, who issued his Labor Day greeting yesterday, in which he explained that we are living well but are simply unaware of that fact. We applaud the efforts of the government to ensure that the country is rich and that it have a surplus. However, on this day, we ask, where in all of this is the worker?
Meanwhile, the independent trade unions of Croatia marked Labor Day by handing out leaflets calling for the banning of Sunday trading.
We started by analyzing how to legally regulate this issue, and we will forward to government a series of legislative proposals. If they turn a deaf ear to our proposals, then we will have no other option than to begin collecting signatures. We are convinced that we will get the required number of signatures because studies have shown that the majority of Croatians are opposed to Sunday trading.
SDP party chairman Davor Bernardić was in Čakovec today, where he announced his party's plans to put into parliamentary procedure a motion to raise the minimum wage.
Working conditions in Croatia are extremely difficult. People are working for small wages with little in the way of job security. And this is one of the big reasons behind this wave of immigration. Our main task and main message on Labor Day is that not one single salary in Croatia can be less than 4,000 kuna net. That is the bare minimum for a dignified life in Croatia.
Prime Minister Plenković was quick to respond to his critics.
The effect of our tax reform and a series of other measures we adopted and implemented have been felt on people's salaries as well. And this has only encouraged us to work even harder on raising the level of employment and ensuring equal opportunities for everyone. and also to achieve the second goal of our reform program, and that is to ensure a top-flight education system that will enable our youth to find employment in the future. And that is the key to success for any society, which has to adapt to the trends that come with globalization.
Prime Minister Plenković was also asked today to comment on the fourth drop in industrial production in the past 5 months. In March, industrial production fell by 4.3% when compared to the previous month and by 1.7% year-on-year.
We have to first see exactly what happened. What is important is that none of these kinds of indicators can affect the revenue side of the budget. So let's take a little time to fully analyze this, but I don't think this is anything out of the ordinary. As one major job at this time of year, last year could be the difference.
On a lighter note, for the first time ever, a Boeing 787 Dreamliner landed in Pula Airport today. The twin-engine craft meets the most stringent environmental standards. Primarily used for long-distance travel, this wide-body airplane was carrying 330 tourists from London.
Laguna, Bellevue, Porrick. Yeah.
How was the trip?
Brilliant, yeah. Yeah. Good journey, yeah.
The size of that plane, it's massive, isn't it? Absolutely.
And taking a quick look at sports, in tennis, Croatia's Ivo Karlovic fell short of the second round of play at the ATP tournament in Munich after losing to German Philipp Kohlschreiber 7-5, 6-4 today. And now the forecast for tomorrow. Partly sunny with increased cloud cover in places. There will be some isolated showers starting in the morning on the northern Adriatic and in Gorski Kotar, and then in the afternoon in inland areas where there could be some thunderstorms. There will be a mild to moderate southeasterly on the coast, strong on the open seas. The northern Adriatic will see a northeasterly in some places, with a northwesterly and northerly on the Istrian Peninsula in the first half of the day. Morning lows of 9 to 14 degrees Celsius in the interior and in some parts of the Istrian Peninsula, and 14 to 19 on the coast, will give way to highs of 23 to 29 degrees, slightly cooler in mountainous regions. The 3-day forecast for the interior calls for variable weather with intermittent showers on Thursday, primarily in the afternoon, when there is a chance of heavier downpours. Friday and Saturday will also see intermittent rain, albeit less than on Thursday. The coast will also see variable weather on Thursday with rain and thunderstorms. There will be a moderate to strong southeasterly, which will die down on Friday. The northern coast will see a northeasterly. There is a chance of isolated showers on Friday and Saturday when winds in Dalmatia will shift to a northwesterly and westerly. And that wraps up the news. Be sure to join us again tomorrow night.